Okay, so we're going to be doing a quick presentation video on how to do a rebill. So this is our work order we've chosen for the rebill. JB Hunt net customer. Here's all our repair items. So we're going to go into nav. First thing we're going to do is equipment list. Just bear with it here. And we're going to search our unit number, which was 282463. Then we're going to go up here to navigate, and we're going to find equipment navigate. We're going to drag this over here. And the first thing we want to do is check to see if this has already been rebilled or if a rebill is in process. So what we're going to do is look for posted service invoice. There's only one. We'll click the three little dots. It'll open up this window. We can see that the last rebill done on this was 2017. So we know we're good to go. This one needs to be billed. So we'll close out all of that. Then we are going to go to contracts. We'll bring this over here. We're going to look for the most recent start date. So we know this one was a customer repair, so we're looking for the one that is on rent, check marked here. Once that line is highlighted, we'll go to quote contract. It will pull up, if you just give me a moment, our JB Hunt contract. Next, we're going to click find. We're going to click number. We're going to search the unit number again, 282463. We want to find the one that is still active. So we see here it's on rent. For JB Hunt, we need the purchase order number, PO. Very important. We'll just write that down on a little piece of paper here. 155782. Some customers, this PO number is back on the quote contract page, but for JB Hunt, they have unique unit numbers or PO numbers for their contracts, so it'll be in here. Once we have that, if there is no PO number, you can just skip that step. Once we have all that set up, we're going to do a start service wizard. And it's going to open up another window. Maybe. That's just gotta bear with nav. It'll open up here soon. Okay, there it is. So this is the next window we're going to be looking at. In description, we always put trailer, caps lock, sorry. We always put trailer repair. The reference number, to get the PO to show up on the customer's invoice, you will need to put whatever the applicable PO is in here. So for this one, it was 130155782. We'll just tab to the next line, tab, and then we'll click next. It'll take us to this screen. We do not have to do anything on this screen. Just make sure everything matches up. It looks fine. We'll go to next. Over on this screen, very important, in this line, service order type, you always want to put REP for rental unit repair. If we forget this step, it will mess up the entire rebill and we will have to start it over from scratch. So next we can put our PO. This will pop up and you always click yes, and it just changes that internal customer number to the customer we're billing. So purchase order number, we'll put it in here again, 782, and we'll tab again, tab, next. Nothing else needs to be done in this window, so we're going to click finish. And now we are in the portion where we will actually start entering repair items. So we go in here to service item, just click so that this line is highlighted. You'll click order, service lines, and then it'll open up this window here. So in type, for any labor related items, we are always going to do resource. And in our number column, we are always going to do MECH for mechanic. It's just our generic mechanic. And then we will tab over, tab, tab. And now in description, we're going to put our first repair item. So if you remember our repair sheet here, we had multiple tires. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tires listed. So back in nav, we're going to replace worn tires. And I like to list the tire positions just in case anybody ever needs to check back on this. So we'll put those in really quickly. And now this is where we would access our price list. This location code, I always change it to the shop that's doing the repairs. So this one was Delanco. Tab. Now this is where we would reference our price sheet to determine parts and labor cost. So I already know that a tire is a half-hour labor. We did 5 tires, so you could either do 5 divided by 0.5, and it'll do the math for, oh, that didn't work. How come that didn't work? 5, divided by, hold on here. Yeah. Anyway, we want to do 2.5 hours. It's a half hour per tire. So you could do 5 times 0.5. That's what I was thinking. And it'll do the math for you. So 2.5 hours. This is where we would put in our shop's labor rate. For Delanco, I know that it's 80. Again, that's on the price list. So we put the 80 bucks an hour. Next line, you'll want to do, this is for all of your parts. You will always choose charge. Go back to our number column, and it'll be PAR, which is just the generic part code. It's always this top one. And then you'll tab over, and then our parts, whatever part we used, recap tires. We can tab over, and you just F8, and it'll copy whatever is in the cell above. Tab over again, and again, we know we did 5 tires, so we put 5 eaches. And I know that our cost for recap tires is $196 a piece. And as you can see, Nav already did the labor for us. So we will OK. And then we want to enter our codes so that anybody checking back on this knows what repairs we did. So the first thing we're going to be looking for is fault area code, which is going to be 100. Then we want component code, which for the tires is always 500. As you can see, it pulls it up. And for job code, it's always going to match the component code, the first digit. So it's always going to be in the 500s. If you weren't sure which code to choose, just type it in the first digit. We'll pull up the whole list of all of our tire-related items. So for this, all we need to do is replace LP225 and tab over. And it puts in the work description what we did. So the next item on our list is going to be the bent door hinges. So I spoke with the mechanic, and I know we are going to be replacing these. So we go over to service item, and we can do a Control C to copy the unit number, arrow down, Control V to paste it, and then we just repeat the same steps as before. Occasionally you will get these random messages that pop up in Nav. Sometimes you'll need to check with somebody that is familiar with Nav to help you out with them. This in particular one, I know that all we need to do is click yes. Then it takes us back into here, which we were familiar with. Again, for the labor, resource, mechanic, tab over, and then we're going to do replace swing door hinges. Just a brief explanation. We will go to Delanco. I know that hinges are a half hour a piece, so we are going to do 3 hinges is 1.5 hours at $80 an hour. We'll go down here again. For all the parts, it's charge PAR. We'll tab over, and we'll do swing door hinges, and we will F8 to copy above. We had 3 of them, and then we will enter the price of the hinges, which I know is $22.80, and then we're done with this line. Same situation, we'll go over. The fault area code is always going to be 100. Component code for doors is 600, as you can see here. The job code, again, if we weren't sure what the hinges were, we just put the 6, and it's going to give us all the door codes. And we'll just scroll down until we find replace hinge. And there it is, replace hinge. The next item on here, we do not bill for this. We bill for the tires already, the hinges. And in this particular case, I know that our mechanic also did a DOT inspection. So that is the last thing that we need. We'll Control C, arrow down, Control V, order, service lines, yes. And we will do for labor, resource, MECH. We'll tab over, and we'll do a PMI/FHWA. And we'll do Delanco again. And labor on this is always 1 hour. And our shop labor rate for Delanco is 80. And then we'll go down here for a parts line and do charge, PAR, top one. And then for this one, always materials. Anytime you have a random repair item, bolts, screws, caulking, stuff like that, is always just materials. We'll F8 to copy above. We only used 1, and it's $8. And we'll do an OK. And just repeat the same steps. Fault area code is always 100. The inspection is our miscellaneous group, which is 1100. And then we just can put the 11 in, and we can see PMI FHWA. Tap over. So this one is complete. Now, to wrap it up, we need to go up here to navigate, and then we will click on comments. And we open up this screen. I always like to put the PO number in the comments as well. And then a couple spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the unit number. The unit number will not appear on the customer invoice anywhere other than this comments section. So this is extremely important that you do not forget to put this in here. Although we can see it, when this prints out for the customer, they will not be able to see it. So then we'll click OK. And then I always just like to double check that I did everything correctly. So we go back to home, print, preview, and it should pull up our service order. This is the SV, so this has not been posted to the customer account. We can see here we did 5 tires, 2.5 hours labor. Just like to scroll through and make sure that everything matched up. I have my labor rates correct on all lines. It's got our total down here. And we can close this. We verify the salesperson is Rob Arndt, which is down here in the invoicing section. So this is who we're going to be sending to for approval. So we will want to go to print, PDF, and then we would save this to our desktop as the unit number 282463 order, so that I know that it's the service order, and then save. So from this point, we would email this PDF to the sales rep, and the sales rep will give us the OK to post this. For house accounts, you don't have to worry about sending it to the sales rep. You can just post it. If we were going to post it, I don't want to post it yet because I want to get Rob's approval. If we were ready to post it, all you would need to do is reopen this service order. So let's close out of it. I'll show you how to open that back up real quick. So we can close all these screens. So back from our regular nav, we search the unit number. We will click on it to make sure that it's highlighted. We'll go to Equipment Navigate again. And now we see this has appeared, service order, and there's one. So if we click on that, it should be the one that we just created, which you can see here, 2/8 today, the time. To get back into this, we just make sure that this line's highlighted, and we'll click card, and it opens back up our service order. So when we're ready to post, we click this little box here that says repairs complete, and then we hit post and print. And depending on your nav setup, it'll either print it to PDF or it'll print out to whatever printer you have assigned. And then from that point, we send that invoice off to the customer. And that should be about it. So let's go close out our